Good morning, everyone. KingRyoma here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what I do every single day in Guild Wars 2, including dailies and stuff like that. So, really, in summation, there's about 4 things I do every day that I make sure I hit at least every day. And then, when I have a little bit more time, I usually do at least the 5th thing that I'm going to talk about. But other than that, yeah, let's get started. So, one of the first thing I do when I log in every day is I do my Central Tyria dailies, which is it'll appear right here at the top right hand of my screen. I think if you change the map over to the top right, your dailies will pop up down here. But yeah, uh, my main focus with doing the Central Tyria dailies is just to get it done as quickly as possible. I do the easiest dailies there are. So, for instance, it would be Cry to Vista Viewer, Shiver Peaks Forager, and uh, Caravan. World vs. World Caravan Disruptor. Those are the 3 easiest ones that I do just to get that 2 gold. Um, there there is some room to do the PvP dailies. I'm not very much of a PvPer in this game. Um, but if you are doing the PvP ones, it is really easy to do maybe 1 or 2 matches and get all of your dailies done right then and there. And it's really important to do your Central Tyria daily every day because it nets you 2 gold. That's 2 gold with you having to do very little work every single day, which is really important if you're trying to go for some reward or trying to get your armor if you're just starting out in the game. And it's just really easy, and it's something you really should be doing every day, even if you're not really actively playing the game. Just logging in and doing the dailies really quick can take 10 minutes sometimes if the dailies are situated that way. Yeah, so it's 2 gold every day. There's really no brainer to it. The individual rewards you get from it, however, to me aren't that important, right? The Vista Viewer, it doesn't get you anything. It gets you some karma, a writ of experience. It's stuff you can pretty much ignore. The only exception to this, to what I'm saying about the individual daily rewards, is in PvP. I actually think the PvP, the single rewards are very good. You get a Shard of Glory, a Resonating Sliver, and a bonus experience towards your reward track, which, for me at least, when I go in to do PvP, I try and win, but my goal in that is to get specific rewards from the PvP reward tracks that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get out in the open world, or would be a little too time consuming out in the Central Tyria. The second thing I do every day is I go through and I do the map dailies. And what I mean by this is doing your Bloodstone Fen daily and doing your Ember Bay daily, and with Ember Bay doing the hearts. Very recently, ArenaNet has done in the past updates. They've added a new map in every single update. We've had 2 in Season 3 so far. The first one has added Bloodstone Fen with its own set of dailies, which includes, I believe, it's killing Justicar Hablion every day, cloying 4 Bloodstone Rifts, and gathering 10 unbanned magic from flying around the map. Pretty easy stuff. Once again, it's easy, it's only 3, and the reason why I do that every day is because of the Blood Rubies. To get these guys for the exclusive rewards you can only get on that map. For me at least, that process can take somewhere upwards of maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how well you're doing with the rifts, how many people are on the map you're on. Specifically in Bloodstone Fen. In Ember Bay, because I decide to do the heart quests every day, Ember Bay being down here, because I do all of the heart quests every day, this process can take, once again, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, And the reason why I do that specifically is because the heart merchants in this area sell petrified wood. And petrified wood is used to buy exclusive rewards in that map as well. One of which being the... Oh, actually, what is this item called? I actually don't know. I know it looks cool. The Lava Skull Backpack. It's a really good reward. It's an Ascended Backpack. Actually, it's my first time having an Ascended Backpack on any character in this game. Besides Maudry, but I didn't really like the way Maudry looked on my Char, or on my main, my warrior. So I just kind of keep it in my bank. Just use it every now and then when I ever so choose. But yeah, I mean, and with that, achievements, dailies. What ArenaNet is trying to do is they're trying to add a new map every single update, and that can get really daunting for someone who like me, who does want to do these things every single day to get the rewards. And goes through, the daily Bloodstone Fen, daily Ember Bay. It can get a lot. So, for me at least, on the days where I don't have a lot of time to do like a lot of stuff in the game, I'll try and cut back. I'll always do the daily, but there are some days where I do skip out on the daily Bloodstone Fen daily, just because, for me, the in-map rewards on that map aren't as good as the ones for the Ember Bay daily. At least for now, I'm gonna try and do the daily Ember Bay daily every day. It's a lot of days. Just so I can keep doing that, the petrified wood, getting the mats, getting the exclusive stuff on the map, and a lot of the heart merchants sell pretty cool like minis and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff to go for. The third thing I do every day, and this pretty much takes up the majority of my night. I typically have between like 4 or 5 hours at night, and this is very specific to me because I don't have any outside obligations besides work and sleep and eating. There's not anything else really to get in my way of doing my daily. So I have between 4 and 5 hours a day to get this done. So what I like to do is I like to do my Fractal Dailies every day. And this really does take up the majority of my time when I'm online. The Fractal Dailies, if you have a really good team, can take maybe an hour to do all 3 of the islands at whatever tier you're at, and then doing your daily recommendeds. For me, I wasn't right when the daily hit, I wasn't able to get all of my Fractal Dailies done before I had to go to sleep, so I skipped out on the daily recommendeds and the Aether Blade path, which is all right. Oh, and actually, I didn't get to Thaumin Overreactor either. Yeah, I mean, just doing your that's the bulk of how I make my money in this game. I do my fractals, I open the boxes, which I'm a person who really can't leave a box unopened. I even when farming a map, I immediately open the boxes, like in the Silver Wastes when I'm opening up the bandit loot chests. Every time I open up a chest, I immediately open up the bag to see what I get in it, which isn't a bad habit necessarily. I mean, it can be if you're trying to really min-max and get your magic find all the way up to 400%, 450%. But yeah, so for me, doing the fractals is how I make my money. It's a lot of money. It's good content. Yeah, I mean, it's just something I do. However, if you are scrapped for time like I am sometimes, that would be one of the things I would cut out of my daily rotation, just because it can be extremely frustrating when your team isn't up for it, when people are leaving, just if you guys wipe too many times. So I would take that as I would do it if you can sit down and really dive in and get all of them done. Doing 1 or 2 of them is fine, especially if you have enough AR to do like the tier 3 or tier 4 ones, because you still get a lot of rewards for doing the upper ones. But for me at least, I make it a point every day to do all of them. At least the tier 3 ones. My personal fractal level is still in tier 3 for some reason, which whatever. I've done a lot of fractals, so whatever. It's forgettable. You know, it's something I just have to get to before I can start doing the T4s. And then finally, this is the thing I do right before I log off for the night, which is I make my ascended crafting mats. If we go run over here real quick to the crafting, or to the bank really, the crafting mats I'm talking about are the lumps of mithrilium, spool of Elonian something. Where are they? They are these guys right here. The globs of elder residue, the spools of Thickelonian cord, the spool of silk weaving thread, and the lumps of mithrilium. I make these every single day, even if I'm not currently making any item that uses them. And the reason being is because they're time gated. You can only make one of these items every day, which means, you know, if I was making this and then making this, you know, daily, it would only be one of these every day, and some ascended items can take up to 20 Deldrimore steel ingots. Like for me, for instance, the thing I'm working on right now is I'm currently working on the precursor collections for Bolt. And that takes a lot of stuff. And honestly, I should have been doing this a long time ago. I should have been, you know, had the discipline to do this every single day, because it would have been such a better thing to do. I wouldn't be time locked as I am now. I could go right in and really make a lot of progress on the collections. But I can't because I didn't make these every day. For now on, you know, seeing that mistake, I am making these every day. I'm making these every single day. To craft one of these, it's kind of a crapshoot, because these have really gone up in price since when I made my ascended stuff. But before, when silk was the really expensive part, I was spending about 6 gold a day to make one of these guys. You know, getting enough silk to make the spool of silk weaving thread, and I would guesstimate that that's probably the same amount. So about 5 to 6 gold a day during the week to make, you know, all of these items. You know, lumps of mithrilium are really easy to make. It's like mithril, a glob. I think a dust. Is it a dust? Yeah, it's a mithril on a glob, and that's pretty much it for mithrilium. It's really inexpensive. It's good stuff. But yeah, yeah. I mean, just making one of these every day really does help when you want to go for your ascended stuff. Even if you aren't currently doing it, even if you aren't currently, you know, actively going for something, it is better just to make it so you have it. And then when I have time, the thing I do, you know, within, you know, me doing fractals, me doing all my stuff, all my other, you know, daily stuff, my dailies. One more thing I do like to do, which isn't necessarily tied to any, you know, specific daily thing, any in-game time restriction, is I like to go into either a Heart of Thorns map or a Living World Season 2 map and just do some farming. Yeah, not necessarily farming, but maybe, you know, just doing events, playing around, doing stuff like that. Just because I really like those maps. Verdant Brink, for instance, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Heart of Thorns map. I would probably say that's Orc Basin, but specifically Verdant Brink, running around using your crowbars on the supply caches. You know, it's just really fun. I like the events there, and that's the thing I want you to really take away from this is, don't let the daily activities, the things you have to do every day, muddle down your enjoyment of the game. I for one really like doing fractals. They're, you know, fun, challenging content. With really good groups, you can really get down into the meat of the mechanics and really getting as much damage as you can out of your class. I really like that. But another thing I like doing is just doing stuff in the open world. For me personally, that is some of the most fun I've had in this game. Is just running around the Silver Waste, killing stuff, opening the chests, and that's really what you ought to focus on in any game. Really, is just having fun. Along with and since this is an MMO, there is some there is some aspect of keeping up with the stuff you ought to be doing. But yeah, I mean, don't don't let the daily stuff muddle what you want to do that day. If you don't want to do your fractals for that day and you just want to hang out with guildies, for instance, and do some guild runs or do your, do some duels in the guild arena, go for it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. There's really not much else that I very specifically do on a daily basis. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I'll talk to you guys later.